Hey, I'm Eric. I'm making faces that you can talk to. Let me demo what I did yesterday. Okay, so we got a face. Among other things, I can have it say stuff. I can go.
Could you stay over here?
And you see his mouth and lips moving there in synchronization with the audio that was played. Could you stay over here? That was what we just heard. I'll do it again.
Could you stay over here?
Now, in the past, I have hand authored all of the timings for the different animation frames around this guy's mouth so that it would be able to.
Could you stay over here?
And also.
Careful of the ice, ma'am.
We go to the promised land?
I know.
I'm very proud of you. Have you read the book?
Okay, so I did that for 90 minutes. I keep on going between 90 minutes and 2 hours, but it was closer to 2 hours. So I'm going to just start saying 2 hours of finished production speech audio that went into a game called The God Killer Chapter 1. It was hundreds of hours for me to do all that animation by hand. And that's fast, actually, compared to what people normally take. It's fast because I developed a tool that made the manual editing of all the timings of the visemes fast. So what I would like to do is make it even faster, and let's say automatic, so that you could take the audio and generate the visemes, the lip animations, the individual frames of expressing the sound of part of a word, so that we could generate those just from analysis of the audio file. Okay, so yesterday I did an experiment. Remember this audio too.
Could you stay over here?
Okay, now go to the other screen. Okay, so here it's loading in some stuff for speech recognition. I click Find Words. It's analyzing the same audio file. It found the locations of the words. Could you stay over here? And it broke them down into phonemes. K-U-H-D. That's what I did yesterday. That K is the K. Then there's the U-H. And then a D at the end. Could you to a over here. Okay, so these phonemes, I just did a very rough interpolation. I said if there's 3 phonemes inside of a word that's this long, I'll just evenly space them apart. That's not quite correct, or that's not the most refined approach to use. I don't have additional information about where each of these phonemes starts, but I do have some ideas to make better guesses to place them. And at some point, you can get close enough, and for the most part, you don't need to do any edits on the results afterwards. That would be a great achievement if I could just get to that. If I get to a point where I'd say 9 times out of 10, I don't have to hand author these mouth sync animations. I just go directly from the audio. Now, I've described this problem over the last 2 decades to people, and they'll say, oh, there's just this library over here. Just go use this. Usually the people recommending that library haven't actually tried to use it, or they have very low standards for what the output should be of that library. So every library I've gone and looked at, every service on the web I've looked at, every piece of lip animation software that I've looked at, including like the professional ones with a price tag on them, they've all disappointed me, every last one of them. That doesn't mean that there isn't somewhere some software right now that does exactly what I'm doing. That's always the thing when you're writing a piece of code. It's like you can't know that like every single thing that's been written and what's out there. So it's possible I'm just redoing some redundant work here, and this is a solved problem, but to my mind it's not, and I've looked hard multiple times. So if I can get this to work, for me, it's amazing. It's like a life changer for my projects. I'll be able to bring in tons and tons of voice over acting into my projects and automatically have, TV quality lip animation.
You stay over here.
This is what I call TV quality lip animation. You've got a collection of different visemes. Visemes are these visual expressions on the mouth. They're differing based not just on like how loud the sound is, the amplitude of it, but the actual part of the word that's being spoken. And maybe they're not perfect, but this is kind of like Rick and Morty quality TV animation, or it's South Park quality TV animation. It's not Disney quality cell animation. It's nothing that good, but that is the standard I'm looking at achieving with automated processing of the audio files to generate these events. So I'll bring this back up again. Today, I want to add another row underneath, and it will be the visemes that correspond to the phonemes. A phoneme is describes the sound that comes out, like the hard C or K sounding could has this K phoneme. A viseme is how is that sound expressed, and I use the Preston Blair set of visemes. Preston Blair lip sync. They're like this. Actually, this one's a little bit better. Okay, so like, for example, K that I was just talking about, that falls under this one here, which is the catch-all for all the consonants that aren't expressed elsewhere. Some visemes just go along with one sound, like L has got one, but others one or two, one, two, or three. So basically, I'm going to do that mapping from phoneme to viseme and display that on the screen. And I may even just, if I get a little bit of luck, get a first pass of the automated lip sync animations to play along with the audio. So I'm going to say that's my stretch goal, but I should definitely get the mappings done in the next hour and a half, which is about the amount of time I have before I got to go get some dinner, get some chow. So yeah, phonemes, this row, to visemes. And visemes are these. So let's do it. Time to code. Demo done. Alright, there's my phonetic dictionary. And then I've got I made that big statement and I almost like it's such a tiny amount of work to do it. Like, I'm gonna climb this mountain and the mountain is 2 feet high. So I think this first part should get over pretty quick. Although I'm jinxing it. So what do I have already? Inside of this other library that I wrote, SO Web Face, there is events, visemes. Where's the ARP bit to blur? This is it. Okay, so here's my phonemes here. Here's my visemes here. Phoneme utils here. Let me export this so I can use this function in the other project. Okay, export. No, not event, speech. It's in speech. Okay, do that. Then let's go ahead and rebuild that library. Okay. Come back over to web face, which is my web app. I think where'd the phoneme timeline? I need a Visine timeline. And I see a bunch of code up here that will probably get refactored into a different module, but for now it's just fine to leave it here. No. Okay, who's defined by Zim? That would be the face. Yeah. Yeah, like that. Okay, Visine timeline. Yeah, okay. Let me say phoneme to Visine timeline. Okay, so we say phoneme timeline. I think this is a pretty easy one. Do a return, phoneme timeline, map, and then the map. Yeah, let's keep it simple to start. And I'll just return something here. Okay, okay. Phoneme timeline map. Phoneme timing. Then return. Time. Phoneme timing. Time. And then Visine is going to be find. What is it? From SO web face, I want phoneme device. That's the one. Did that just do an import? No. Okay, good. Okay. So I should do that. Then there's even one more transformation. Let's see, phoneme timeline to lips. And then I want to pass in frames per second. Frame rate. Yeah, I can have it be a constant. Let's do phoneme timeline string. Okay, so I want to make sure the phoneme timeline is correctly sorted. Let's see. A phoneme timing. Oh. So I feel like I might do better with just one window for a little bit. Okay, phoneme timing A, phoneme timing B. And missing parenthesis, let's close it up. Okay. Return A time. B time minus A time. And that should sort it by time. Let lips equals bam. Okay. 4. Things sorted for each. Phoneme time. Return. Oops. Okay. It's I feel like I just know this is inevitable, so I just want to make this new module. So we'll say lips generation util. And I'll take these other guys and move them over there. To do. Okay, these are all going to be exports. Put them all top in one place. Weird. How does that even function? Yeah. It doesn't seem like that import would have worked. Okay, then bring over the phonetic dictionary. Well, I guess I do need the left and right for a little bit. Okay, so phonetic dictionary. It is like one of those things where you just can lazy load it. No, you can't lazy load it. It's got to load from a URL. So this needs initialization. I could put the phonetic dictionary in the bundle. That seems like an architectural mistake, though. Especially if I don't split out the bundle into different parts. Okay. So let's say the phonetic dictionary will be inside of here. Okay. I think we'll need an export to initialize. Ah! God damn. Stupid porn spam scaring me. I get text messages for porn all the time. Didn't ask for it, it just happens. Okay, so export init, and then I don't know what goes on here quite yet. Okay, so this will be okay. So this is that'll load in a file from a URL and process it. I don't need to do an await there. I can just return. I think I'll leave this here. It does feel like I kind of want it all inside of one call. It could be. Yeah. Okay. So what would the super call be? What would be like the super call? A single API that just encapsulates a whole bunch of complexity behind it. It would be export. Generate lips events from audio buffer. I think maybe I'll just call it just going back over to my other library to see what I've got over there. So events, phonemes event iterator, iterable event, speech. Okay, lips file util lips event. Okay, So this file util is going to load libs from text. It's going to return events. Oh, you should really add something to the end here. This will return libs event. Yeah. Okay. Go back to web face. Wait. Yeah, libs event. Okay. Then somewhere else I pass this to the event iterator constructor. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this will be libs event like so. Okay. So if I do all this stuff, I can make a lot of these exports go away. I'm saying, no, let me say it again. If I make a couple good high-level exports that just sort of encapsulate everything, then these other functions, I can make them private to the module, non-exported. Okay, this will be from have URL. And I don't know if that's so valuable to have that. Let's just stick with that. Okay. But I realize though that like currently I am using a lot of intermediate data. For debugging purposes. I think I know a simple way to capture this without making a lot of weird APIs and stuff. Let's call it Debug Capture. Okay, so I can do there's another thing I need too, which is the word timeline extractor. Okay, so that should also be handled inside of that initialization. Okay, no problem, no problem. said this was going to be easy. I'm realizing it's not easy. Hour left on the clock. I might be able to do it in time. Okay, so the face gets a lips event, but it looks like that's not being exported. Lips event from speech. Yeah, okay. Export default as lips event from speech lips event. There we go. Do that. I always wonder why this one's colored different. I don't know. Okay. I have to do a build too for that to be recognized. Yeah, we gotta firm up there. What? Are you sure? Are you sure? SL web face. Yeah, I just rebuilt SO web face. Alright, I think that's just a glitch. Let's come back here. Save that. Close that. Reopen that. Still? I'm starting to regret putting everything in different libraries. These build issues are non-trivial. Why do you do that to me? Why do you do that? Is it only a type? That could be it. So go back to web face. Default as lips event. Lips event. No, it's a class. It is a class. Alright. What is the fucking deal? Export default lips event. SL web face. ls dist index JS, or I should say cat. Object defined property exports lips event enumerable true get function bomb import default lips event 1. Okay, you should be good there. Cool. Now come over here. ls node modules. SL web face dist index JS. Well, don't ls it cat it. I see a lips event there. So yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it. Web face back here. Why? I exported it. I exported it in the same way as I did Physeme. That may not be entirely true. Let's go back and look at that. Okay, so SL web speech. Okay, that's fine. Web face. see if I can find one that is apples to apples, the same thing. So lips event is a class. What else am I exporting that as a class? Speech audio. Not using that anyplace though. Blank controller and attention controller. Those I'm doing. So if I go to Blink controller, yeah, export default there. Class here. Okay. And if I go back to lips event, yeah, it's just class. There is an implements here. Would that matter? Is my spelling wrong? No, it looks the same. It's the same. What if I fix everything else, leave that, and then do a build? God, it's just driving me nuts. Why would it not pop up in the imports? Let's go take a look at all the things it's complaining about. Let's just fix everything else it might complain about. The extractor doesn't like. Do I need the extractor? I don't think I do. Let's move this over. Or, wait, no. Let's do that. Wire from URL. Let's take this. Move this into my util. Okay, this up here needs to, okay. Here. We do. What are these lips events anyways? Do I actually need them? Am I fiddling around with that when I don't actually have to? It's just time and Visime. I've already got that in this other structure that I defined. And this could return text from the audio buffer. Let's do that. Okay. Buffer. Debug capture. Okay, this will be const debug capture. Any equals bam. Then we say set word timeline debug capture word timeline. Yeah. Okay, later on I can add the visemes down there too. Okay, so that's going to be the lips text. For now, I'll do console log lips text. Okay, so all that. And this can be returned. Don't need to do that because there's no callbacks there. I can put that elsewhere. Okay. Let's say return init. And I have to make sure I get that from the right place. It's going to be from here. And this goes away. Phoneme time. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong because, oh, okay, you just don't have that defined. Okay. And what's that one? Word. No, that's above. Okay. Okay, so now I just need to take all that functionality that was working over there and move it into here. And I think I get to close this down. All right. Okay, so init, make sure that's doing everything it needs to do. Okay, I guess I can take this out. I'm kind of bothered that it didn't import, but I don't actually need it. There's my extractor. Okay, let's just wait. This won't take too long. Return. Promise. Resolve. What? No. Okay, so then we say extractor equals new extractor. No, that's not what I want. Word timeline extractor. And it's going to be Already callback. And for that, we just do a resolve. What? What? Well, let's do a promise void up top, and that should resolve that. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's the init. Pretty lengthy initialization because it's got to load in all the language models. Not all language models, one language model. Fairly lengthy download and process there, though. Okay, word to phoneme timeline. Okay, so we got the audio buffer, got the debug capture. Word timeline comes back, and this can actually be added to debug capture. Okay. Okay. Same thing here. Let's text equals. I know what you're complaining about. Let's just return that directly. You're saying no problem. Let's do that. Okay, so then I just gotta do this. Oops, file util frames per second 24. I think I have that exported. Is it exported from index? Frames per second. No, that's not. All right, so this is a little tricky. They're sorted. It's all about the padding between the visemes. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this algorithm. I can either drive the algorithm from the destination data structure or from the source data structure. If I do it from the destination data structure, I'm saying at each point in this, each character in this string, what is the correct thing to put in it based on what's there from the phoneme timeline. I don't think that's the right way to do it. I think it's the way I'm doing it now, which is start with the source information, the phoneme timeline, and come up with the string representation of it as I walk through the phoneme timeline. Okay, so last vising time equals 0, time equals 0. Padding, spaces, space count equals vising time last vising time msex per frame equals 1000 divided by frames per second. Okay, vising time minus last vising time. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's say quantize time to, and it will be msex per frame. This doesn't need to be an export. Does not need to be an export. This should be I don't need the vising timeline, do I? Oh, I do for debugging. Okay, that makes sense. Fix all these. Move my exports down to the bottom. It's a little easier to track things that way. I know a certain order of calling this function, so I know the top level functions are at the bottom, and generally any function that calls something, I want that function to be declared previous to it. Why? Just because it's easier for me to find things that way. That's the only reason. But it used to be like in non-Babel times that you actually had to declare your functions in that order. Okay, quantize time, number, interval msex. Let's see, step msex. Not that better. So what are we saying? We're saying that Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, const time step count equals time divided by step msex. Then we do math round, I think. I could have done floor, but round is going to be more in line with representing the value. Okay, then you return time step count times the step amount. That'll quantize the time to a certain millisecond interval. So vising time equals quantizing there. And then the padding space count. Vising time minus last vising time divided by msex per frame. Okay, so this a lot of times will be 0. Okay, so for let pad I 0, pad I less than padding space count plus pad I, and then it will be ellipse plus equals. It just feels like bad luck to me to put a for loop all in one line, so I'll just do that out of superstitious reasons or resistance to changing my patterns. I don't like code golf. So then I need the vising that goes with the phoneme. And I already did that up above. Vising equals like so. Okay. Okay, so then we say if no, it's simple. Ellipse plus equals. Okay. Let's set this to so I need to detect when two visemes are too close together and one needs to drop. So we can say if vising time equals last vising time, then return. Just skip this. We'll drop the whole vising. We'll just use the first one to do better logic around which visemes to drop. Okay. But for that to ever be detected, this has to have a certain value. And I also need it to be 0 for the next part. So I'll say if last vising time equals 0, last vising time nah, there's something that's off here. What is it? So Let me think through the different use cases. So we could do, okay, bam, could do, okay, like that. I gotta remember to add a little period on the end too. Okay, so think through this. I know it's not quite right. I don't want to fiddle around with it in trial and error fashion. I want to actually understand what the correct algorithm would be. This is a for each, so it's like continue. Alright, so our padding space count, it's going to be this visine time minus the last visine time divided by M6 per frame. But I could do visine time minus last visine time. Minus 1? That might be it. That might be it. So thinking about that, if I start with -1 on the first round through, then it's going to be 0 will be the position of the K. The last visine team will be -1, which puts it at 1 for that, and then -1 again puts it back to 0. That's correct. If on the other hand, the first one was 1, then the padding space count would end up being 1. And that would add in this little space here, like I've got. If I had 2 phonemes that were just back to back, then I think it's going to be fine too. Okay. So maybe this works. It's a lot of new code here. Let's go fix this part at the bottom. Okay. And why are you complaining? Oh, because it's an async function, so I need to return a promise to a string, not a string. Okay. Got so much new code, I'm sure I missed some things. Okay, you don't need time. I do like the linting in the ID, it's helping me quite a bit. Okay, so these to-dos are fine, they can sit there for a long time. All right. Okay. This is likely to crash in some way when I click it, but let's do it. All right. So stuff failed, but it did load in the language model and everything. That was cool. Oh yeah, these create markers. Like from what? So it actually did come back. I would like to see what it returns inside of Extract. All right, let's do it that way. Okay, so we will load the audio buffer. Let's just see what it returns to start with. Oh, well, I need to do an await. I mean, that's going to be a big contributor to those problems. So, just doing await. Okay, clear that. Find the words. Well, look at that. Okay, there's some problems with it, but I think I might be close. The main problem is that it put in a viseme there, and I don't actually need a viseme there. I need a phoneme. Oh, well, this is nice. This continues to work. Cool. It's not really... Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is no problem. So this just needs to be bam, bam, bam. All right, to do that, so find the words. Yeah, okay, so here we go. We've got, shit. Okay, my battery's out. I gotta shut down my computers right now. Gotta do it. Stop and